What up, Dokkanners? It has been about a week now since we got the version Z update on Global, and I gotta say, this has been nothing but spectacular. I have enjoyed this game so much more as a result. The auto mode update has been the best update ever done in Dokkan. Being able to run stages without the tediousness of just sitting there doing it yourself has made things so much more convenient for me. It's opened up my world, honestly. The ability to clear stages on all difficulties in one fell swoop, the hidden potential update, 50 teams for crying out loud. I can't even fill out all of these teams. I don't know what to do. There's just so much. This update has been really, really good. And probably the best thing of all, my max link count has gone from 151 to 160 in about 5 or 6 days. That says a lot, given that I am not the biggest fan of link leveling actively. I just hate it. I can't stand it. So the fact that they've done this now and caused me to go from 151 to 160 in 5 days says a lot. You can expect a lot more max link leveling units and this count to increase quite drastically over the next few weeks. But with that said, I wanted to talk about the version Z update itself, because this update is not just an update that happens right now and ends right now. This is a project. This is something that's going to be happening over the lifespan of Dokkan. This is something that they want to be doing to slowly improve the game and fix any possible issues that could be causing problems for players, that could make the experience more manageable, more consumable, and more user-friendly. And this is the first wave of it. JP has not received a second part of this, but there will be more update waves in the future, for lack of a better phrase. So to that end, in this video, I wanted to talk about a couple of things that I feel could be implemented in the future, that I think should be implemented because it would make the game a little bit more approachable, more manageable. But these are some very nitpicky things, minor details that one would really only notice if you play the game as much as I do. And I know some of you guys do. So if you guys agree, disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments. Feel free to also chime in with your own suggestions if there's anything that you guys also would want to have updated, because this is all a conversation and I would love to know what you guys think, because I'm not going to be covering everything, that's for sure. The first thing that I want to talk about is the friend system. The friend system already has received an update to an extent where it now eliminates the need for you to think about which friend unit you want to be bringing. It now instead just does it for you by giving you the best possible option to run on your team. Now, for the most part, this is actually a pretty good thing, but for right here, as you can see, this doesn't quite fit what I'm looking for. On this particular run, what the friend system did is it gave me the best possible candidate that could lead all of the units on my team. So to be fair, this is actually a really good suggestion, because everybody on this team would be either Terrifying Conquerors or Transformation Boost. But unfortunately, this doesn't work with what I'm looking for. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to farm out at most 245% to farm out currency. I need another LR to do that. And this unit prioritizes cohesion over rarity bonus. So what I'd have to do is that if I want to find another artificial life form, I'd have to go find it myself, artificial life form, pick up an LR. This Bootanks doesn't lead the team at all, but this is another LR, and that boosts my bonus drop rate to 245%. I would run through the event, and then when I come back, if I still can't find another baby Vegeta, it would automatically go back to the cooler, as it just did. So my suggestion here is a friend mirroring system, which basically means you get to duplicate your friend unit or your unit into a friend unit, which I think is fair. The overall composition makeup of this unit is exactly replicated on the friend unit. Or I would like them to also somewhat give us like an autosave function on the friend change. That way it also takes into account what you're trying to do and the last unit that you changed into. That way, when you're trying to do things like this, where you're trying to farm out an event over and over and over, you don't have to go each and every time to go find the Bootanks or find an alternative, because that eats away at this whole automated process. So updating the friend system by giving us a mirror and a minor suggestion adjustment, I think would be very beneficial. The next thing is the post-run stats. If you guys have been working on those links like I have, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. When it comes to auto mode, the point of it is to run through stages and not look at it, right? Because that's the whole point. If you're looking at the stage and you're running through the stage yourself, there's no such thing as auto mode. It doesn't exist, because you're literally just doing it yourself. But when auto mode is active, ideally you'd be doing something else. But when you're doing something else, and let's say you're link level grinding, you might not notice when units get their max links, or close to it, because you're doing something else. And that is the point of this next one, the post-run stats. In the post-run stats, they talk about the time it took to complete the event. They talk about the items that were used on the event. the items that were collected, your overall team comp, I feel like it would benefit them to also give us a way to see any and all links that were adjusted during the process. If a unit were to receive max links, there should perhaps maybe be some sort of a visual indicator on your team in the post-run stats that shows, okay, this unit is now officially max links, time to move this unit aside and throw somebody else on. I know that this would have to suggest that Dokkan is very mindful that link level grinding is like a go-to activity, but I still think it would be a good idea because they've already introduced an update on JP where they show the amount of links you've maxed out, and that factors into your Dokkan power level. So they know that people are prioritizing max link leveling. I don't think it would be outside the realm of possibility for them to also give us a visual indicator on the actual team. Maybe not even just here, maybe in general. If a unit is max linked, maybe they should just give it some sort of a new visual cue that can show you that this unit is fully maxed out. I think that would be very useful. That could also even solve what I just recommended, the post-run stats. Maybe you don't even need that. If you get to have a visual cue for a unit being max linked, that will take care of essentially the real problem. Because you don't want to be running a unit on a max or on a link leveling stage after it's already completed its max linking process. That kind of defeats the purpose. That's already happened to me a couple of times where I think I've run like a couple of runs, 2 or 3 runs, and then I look at my team and I'm like, wait a second, has anybody ranked up? And I'll see the 2 of my guys are maxed out. I'm just like, man, I wasted all those runs. So that could be useful. The next one is a very obvious one that a lot of you guys have been talking about in my videos, and that is the category adjustment. Right now, they've already adjusted the category selection to these nice little color coding system where you can basically cluster these different categories into different themes. Like at the top, we've got the sagas. The second one is forms, or no, not forms, races. The third one is forms. The fourth one, I think, is like a state of, no, I don't even know how you quantify this, but basically what I'm trying to say is they have different versions or like different subsections of categories with different unique colors that just makes it easier to find. What I think would still be better would just simply be to alphabetize it and give us a category search option. Because while this is visually easier to digest for new players and old players, some people might be colorblind to certain colors. Also, these letters can be kind of small for some players and it might be very hard for them to see. So if they can search on their own terms to find the category, or maybe go through a very standard method of organization, which is alphabetizing it, it would make the overall process easier for some players who simply don't have the same level of accessibility as all other players. Plus, learning this is a challenge in and of itself because we've now been exposed to 6.5 years of a different style of categorization. So suddenly seeing everything shifted like this has been actually kind of a nuisance for me. I can tell you for a fact, I memorized where Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans were. They were at the bottom. Every single time I'm trying to assemble a Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans team, I always do this. Go to categories, scroll all the way down, then I realize everything has changed, and then I scroll all the way back up. Every single time. Every time. So I think that they should make it a point to make the category searching process much easier because, as we all know, the category meta is only going to continue. Why not improve it? That is a big one. Another one is under the hidden potential system. This is my second to last suggestion. We are looking at the hidden potential system right here. Let me actually go to a particular unit that I just rainbowed recently, and that is the Hit Godku. This unit has an EX Skill Orb. So my suggestion is Skill Orb origin points. What I would like for them to do is to give us the ability to identify where these EX Skill Orbs are being designated so that I can always go in and replace it with something else. The only reason why I know that this Hit Godku unit has an EX Skill Orb is because I remembered. But let's just say that I used every single one of these EX Skill Orbs and gave them to all of my different units. The whole point of these things is so that you can remove them and give it to somebody else without breaking the skill orb. It can be reused. But the problem is, if I were to give all of these skill orbs to all of my different units, how am I supposed to keep track of where they are? How am I supposed to know off the top of my head, oh yeah, this EX skill orb was given to Frieza, let me take that out from this one, give it to somebody else. Because first of all, when you have to take out that skill orb, you can't just simply remove it, you have to exchange it with something else. So there's like an added level of frustration there, simply knowing where those EX skill orbs are, and then the other process of having to replace it. So I feel like they should do something, since this is going to be a new thing now moving forward, where they can allow a single slot in your inventory to just be grayed out to indicate that this is where a former EX skill orb used to be. And if you want to find it, you simply click on it, just like you would do with a medal, and you can see where it is. Like, for example, when you're looking at a unit's growth chart, right? You look at this page right here, you see these two medals. If you click on the medal, it takes you to where exactly you can get it. So I feel like they should do something like that for the EX skill orbs as well. So that way you can actually have a much easier time knowing exactly where the heck they are. Because I already forgot where one of my EX skill orbs are, and I'm actually really upset. And lastly, it's actually, we're still in the hidden potential system. It's simply categorizing the EX skill orbs. There's just a lot going on here, and with the whole category EX, or the category skill orbs meta now being a thing with all of these different events that give you skill orbs that are specific to certain categories, I feel like what they should be doing here is giving you a more easier experience figuring out exactly where they are. Like, if we're going to be having Universe 6, Fusion, Shadow Dragon Saga, what other categories do we have EX skill orbs for? However many others we get in the future, they should allow us to simply search by category. They give us bronze, silver, gold. They give us the skill type, like what it does. They give us the level, they give us the type. All we're missing is the category. Because I still think, while this looks okay, it's a little hard to pinpoint where the all-encompassing skill orbs begin or end and the category ones begin. I'm trying to find where is the... Actually, this is not a good example. Let's find a Universe 7 unit. All right, here's the Universe 7 unit. So if I want to give this unit a skill orb, here are all of the skill orbs that apply to everybody. But if we scroll down further, we can find the Universe 7 ones. Okay, I thought that was it. Maybe further. Universe 7. Where's my Universe 7 skill orbs? I can't find it. See what I mean? This just proves my point. Here we go. Here's Universe 7. Universe 7 is up here. So what I think would be nice is if they could introduce one more button, just like they do for regular category searches, to implement that here as well, so that you can actually find these things a lot easier. I always tell people to farm out these events, so if you're farming out a bunch of these skill orbs and you don't know where they go or where they belong, how are you supposed to use them? So those are just a couple of the suggestions that I could come up with for possible updates in the future with the version Z update. If I missed anything, or if you guys disagree with any of my thoughts, feel free to let me know in the comments. But this has just been a great experience for Dokkan. This is something that has now engaged, this is now enabled discussion, because it now allows people to kind of, you know, speak their mind about what could potentially make the game more viable in the future with upcoming updates. I just think that this has made the overall community a little bit more enjoyable when it comes to the game, because oftentimes what people will do, and rightfully so, if they're frustrated, is just complain about the game. And while that is important, sometimes it can go in a direction that people aren't, you know, necessarily receptive to. With this whole version Z community-driven approach, it allows players to actually engage in a more productive way and hope for something better in the future. So hopefully this video kind of gave some thoughts into that front. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments if there's any other updates that you would like to see with the version Z update. If there's anything that I mentioned that I might have missed or anything like that, feel free to let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future, and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.